Oh my God! Welcome back, everybody. I love shooting this shit, man. Shooting this shit's always so much fun.
It smells a little bit though.
You have to stand back farther when you shoot.
So,
Flash.
where we last left off, the team, after beginning to figure out the unique situation of their ship, the Red Tide, and it would seem that it is haunted. And while it is haunted, the crew are responsive. But what they've discovered is with the absent pieces of the Red Tide limits the ability of the ghostly crew to respond to the needs of Captain Zephora. However, with a little bit of clever subtlety and camouflage, the team's first major encounter, a large, young black dragon that seemed to be flying between 2 points of existences over the sea while the team was on their way to the Southern Isles. They camouflaged the ship to look abandoned and wrecked, hid and waited for the dragon to pass. Unfortunately, the dragon became intrigued by the floating vessel and then began its investigation. Here, the team fought the dragon off, killed it, and not only that, but managed to harvest its physical form for purposes of value and other activities. The team then began repairs, the crew kind of tending to the remains of the dragon, and the crew have finally been named. We've got our bosun and our first mate, and the crew itself has now kind of been set in place. The team arrived within a few days to see the outskirts of the Southern Isles. And here they approached the bay that surrounds Evermist, a small pirate village that seems to be rather busy with a lot of activity. Other ships in the bay anchored with tenders going to the dry docks and the docks to unload their goods or to purchase goods. More importantly, they noticed anchored here was the Leviathan as well, the ship that they once used to service on. But unfortunately, Captain Sable had left them behind on the Island of Knowledge, mistakenly thinking that they had been eaten by the large snake that had also tried to eat Captain Sable and his crew when they were investigating the ruins of Illusion. As the team got closer and closer to the Southern Isles, they noticed a small vessel with a strange kind of steam-like contraption, a stack of smoke billowing out, a paddle-wheeled tender making its way towards the edge of the Red Tide. Here at the edge of the Red Tide, quickly getting on board, pulling himself up the rope ladder, the turtle. The turtle then looking around, seeing that Captain Zephora was standing there with a bit of a strange look on her face up by the helms wheel. He stood there at the bottom of the stairs, looking up at Zephora, asking,
"Well, if you'd like to make anchor here, I require your captain's log and whatever paperwork you have in regards to what you're carrying in your hold."
You watch as Zephora looks around, kind of whispers something to Slick and Sleek, and then Zephora looks over towards Kunlun, Bungo, and Mordain. Give me a moment. Zephora kind of gathers you all up near the helm's deck. Okay, what the fuck do we do now?
Sorry.
I am here to praise the ocean and... Oh, wait, I'm doing it wrong. I'm here to praise the ocean. I'm here to worship.
Yes. I know, Mordain. Sex, praise the ocean, violence. I get it. But we need to hand something over to this guy. What do we do?
Well, we could just explain that we were marooned and this is our maiden voyage and we have no log and, we just made this vessel seaworthy.
So your solution is to tell the truth?
Why don't we tell different truths? That we were attacked by a dragon, and the dragon ate the captain's log. It's like when you're in school and you say the dog ate your homework, but now it's the dragon ate your homework, or the captain's log.
Sephora looks over at the turtle. As much as I like all these ideas, I'm gonna go with mine. You watch as Sephora kind of takes something from Slick and Sleek, walks over to the turtle. They have a silent conversation with each other, and the turtle seems happy, holds out the palm of his hand. A small amount of gold coin are placed in the hand of the turtle, as well as a leather journal that seems to have the words Red Tide written on it with Captain's Journal written on it. You watch as the turtle quickly looks through it. You overhear Sephora mention that they have no cargo, that they're actually here to purchase cargo. Slick and Sleek and Sephora are kind of like talking their way through this at this point, allowing the three of you to do whatever you want while they seem to be contending with this turtle's requirements.
So, yeah, okay, that'll work, I guess. Where are we going next, and how much food are we going to need? I mean, I can make good berries for us every day, so technically we don't need food. Guys?
Yes, good berries. You heard.
Why don't we buy food? Wait, do we have any money to buy food? We have money, right? Why don't we buy food? Sure, no?
I think party gold is...
We have money, yes.
Well, you guys also have a lot of Black Dragon resources you could try to sell as well.
Yeah.
The what?
But that would piss Slick off. We just sell it all.
All the Black Dragon stuff that you guys harvested.
No,
Yeah.
I cannot sell my dragon blood because I'm going to use it to make hallucinogenic potions. To help the team eventually.
Of course.
I don't know. Or we could go into town and get drunk.
Well, what about
Or we could
the old
try to...
crew?
What about the what?
What about the old captain and the old ship? Shouldn't we?
Oh, tender our resignations for him leaving us marooned?
Well, I think he owes me a month's salary.
Yeah.
And I also left my pipe collection back in my cabin.
Okay. Yeah,
And-
we could go talk to him.
And I think I was collecting some manure there as well for my garden. Wonder if they threw it away.
Probably.
Somewhere down the hold of the Leviathan are like numerous buckets of shit and a box filled with pipes.
Or we could try to find out where the other parts of the ship are. How would we even go about doing that? Kunlun?
What? So, sorry, say it again.
Can you find out where the other parts to the ship are?
Parts to the ship.
Jane?
You mean this ship?
Yeah.
Like the bell?
Like the bell,
Oh,
the flag, and the
Oh.
figurehead.
oh.
So we can restore it to its former glory and be unstoppable.
But why do you think it's here?
No, I don't think that it's here, but we need to find out where they are. I mean, asking questions. I mean, have you ever heard of the Red Tide before?
No, but that means nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's not
maybe
amazing.
there's legends or something that we could track down. Or I don't know.
Okay, Okay, I think that's a good idea. Let's go
Well,
ashore.
Jane, do you have any ideas?
Well, I could sneak on on our old ship and no, let's do your thing. Yes,
Or we could ask Captain.
I could ask Captain,
Yeah.
but then would it be weird if we show up to Captain and do we have any contractual obligations to the Captain?
I think him leaving us marooned kind of severed our contract.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm not a lawyer though. Most of my family were lawyers. That's why I left them. I hate lawyers. Anyway,
What is the standard contractual thing for shipboard members that are
I mean, you're kind of under the impression that Captain Sable thought you guys were eaten by the snake because of the skeletons that were kind of exposed when the snake was killed, and probably made a hasty exit of the island to avoid any other creatures or monsters. And I mean, if he thinks you're dead, technically that null and voids your contract at that point. If you make an appearance, chances are all of your items, your shares, and everything have already been kind of distributed throughout the crew. Most sailor contracts, especially in the piracy realm of this particular area, is based on port to port and shares and portions based off of any successes that have occurred. No real sense that there's like contractual obligations.
I think we should go talk to the Captain.
Yeah.
Zafora does not like the Captain, but I think I never had any problems with the Captain.
And we should not tell him that she sent the snake after him, right?
Right. Is that happened? Oh no.
We should keep that to ourselves, right?
I do not remember. Yes, we can admit that fact.
Okay. Maybe we can ask him if he knows about the red tide. Or we can just listen around.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some old drunk at the bar that we can talk to. He's probably heard every story ever.
Well, let's go talk to Captain and
see
if he owes us any wages. And then we'll go from there.
Okay. Morgine, you on? You coming?
Wherever there's fun, I am to be had.
As the three of you kind of having this sidebar conversation, you watch as Zafora and Slick wrap up their conversation with the turtle, who seems happy. He takes a bunch of parchment, does some writing on it, hands it over to Zafora, who folds it up, puts it into the captain's log that she kind of had Slick make up pretty quickly, and watches as the turtle heads over the deck of the ship down towards the steam paddle tender and heading back towards the bay. Captain Zafora comes over to the helm and begins to plot the course over into the deeper part of the bay where you're expected to be able to anchor. That takes about an hour for that to happen. Eventually, the anchor is dropped as the ghostly crew, once again, does the basics, but nothing much more than that. Zafora and Slick decide to stay on board for now to tend to any further repairs or investigation of the ship. The three of you are lowered into the tender, and then you watch as Kunlun rows the tender towards one of the many small docks that kind of litter the edge of the beach of Evermist. Before long, you feel it only takes about half an hour to row into the small docks. You can see where all these tenders are kind of lined up, where people are either getting out or getting in to the different locations. The next thing you guys know, the three of you are standing on the docks in the town of Evermist.
All right. Drinks first or over to the Leviathan?
To the Leviathan!
I think it's
Wait,
better.
all right.
I mean, drinks.
Sober.
Morning's like either or. Drunk, sober, I'm pretty much the same.
If I talk to the captain while drunk, it will be more entertaining, but potentially less effective. So, choose your adventure.
All right, then. Well, let's head towards the Leviathan, and if we see someplace that's handing out drinks along the way, we'll grab some. And
I'm also curious if the captain has made progress in looking for a bishop.
Looking for the bishop or a bishop?
I don't know. The articles. Strong point. The bishop, the one that we were looking for.
So you guys attempting to find the captain first or heading into town first?
I don't know. I think we should look for a captain.
yeah, Captain, unless we get sidetracked.
As you guys walk off the docks and into Evermist itself, Evermist is a hodgepodge of like grass huts that line the beach with a variety of local indigenous folk, as well as there's other folk here as well. There's goblins, orcs, humans, dwarves, halflings, but they've all kind of taken on that kind of retirement look. They all look weathered and scarred, like maybe they've lived very difficult lives, and now they're just kind of lounging on the beach and in these small huts, either fishing or smoking fish on the beach, pulling in crab pots and lobster nets and pots from the tenders that they have like moored up in the shallow water. It feels like the beach itself is a place for the locals. As you guys walk off the docks and into the gravel sand and into the interior of Evermist, Evermist itself is made of coral, stone, palm tree logs, like everything that you could find locally on the island is kind of makes up most of these buildings. There doesn't seem to be a lot of structures, but the few that you can see one large building that looks to be made of a series of old junk ships, but just the keel portion of the ships. So it's almost like you're watching people go in and out of these hulls, with these double doors. There's a cast iron sign above the door. Evidently, the tavern seems to be called the Smoldered Keel. Looking a little further down the road to your right, you see what looks to be an open air goods shop, like a general goods shop, where you could kind of make out the sign of a kind of like a very well dressed, appears to be maybe a half elf individual who is hawking the wares of the shop. But there's a big banner that hangs in between two palm trees where his shop is located. Seems to be called the Ember Exchange, is what's kind of plastered on the kind of cloth tarpaulin that's got the name of his shop. A little further down from there, you could see like a palm tree structure that's made into some palm trees, made of palm tree wood. Lots of platform wood around it, but yet you could see all these strange things, like all these boxes and crates and barrels and stacks of oddities. It appears to be the name of the shop kind of carved into a piece of wood above the shop, called the Gilded Ember. Off to your left, you can see what looks to be an apothecary shop. It has the name the Sulphur Lily on it. You can see a very kind of like he looks almost like the Big Lebowski, but he's an elf. And you can tell that he's like wandering in and out of the shop, kind of handing his potions and poultices and other things off the buyers and sellers. And then kind of mixed in between all these main structures, you could just see lean-tos and either two-story shacks or this. The town seems relatively small, but it's a very kind of like sprawled out town along all the different beaches here. There's a variety of people that simply linger in the street drinking or gambling. You can see what appears to be a local whorehouse at the very end of the street as well, called the Bridled Mermaid. It would appear that the three of you give me insight checks as you kind of try to get a feel for what the vibe of this place might be.
19.
Nice.
14.
14.
Yeah, this is pirate territory. These are people who are either in between opportunities, or ships have come here to offload goods or waiting to unload goods. The rough and tumble crowds are not your kind of simple town crowd. These are rough individuals who have either gotten their start on the sea in piracy, or they've come here to take some time off, or they're here to spend their gold. The two busiest places that you can tell so far are the rather large tavern, the smoldering, the smoldered keel, and then the Bridled Mermaid at the other end. Those seem to be the two places that have the most amount of people. There's also a lot of individuals at these little stalls that they've just kind of impromptuly kind of built out of like simple kind of like local supplies, and they're hawking very simple things, either gathered foodstuffs or little tchotchkes or little things that they are pilfered. I mean, it almost feels like people are fencing items here as well, like little random stacks of crates that have names on them that have nothing to do with the town. So you get the feeling that this is like, if you steal shit, this is where you come to sell it, at least for, this particular area of the different archipelagos and islands that strewn this entire outskirts of Western Tal'Dorei. Mordain, you notice a familiar person is currently standing at a market stall, and he seems to be haggling with somebody. As you notice, Captain Sable and two of his crewmates are with him as well. They seem to be bartering for market goods, food and drink and other things to probably load up on the Leviathan. He hasn't noticed you yet. You guys are probably a good couple 100 feet away in the crowd, just kind of taking in the town of Evermist. And now you can see Captain Sable, who is now over at one of the market stalls.
I want to...
Initiative.
Yeah. Maybe.
Bongo immediately pulls out a dagger and drives it into his ribs. That's for leaving us.
So what kind of store are they at?
It's like an open stall. It's not even really kind of like a store. It's like all these stacked up crates, barrels of food, and big old strings of smoked fish. It's a small goblin that seems to run this little stall, and he's currently haggling with the captain. And it sounds like the captain's in the midst of buying foodstuffs.
So how far away am I, and how?
A couple 100 feet.
100 feet.
Yeah, a couple 100 feet.
I want to get within 30 feet of the proprietor.
Are you trying to not be noticed?
Yes.
Give me a deception check for starters.
That is a 12.
Okay. Now give me a stealth check.
Dos.
2.
Yeah.
So Bungo, you and Kunlun watch as Mordain thinks he's being super clever and silent, and starts trying to edge his way closer to the stall and get as close to the goblin proprietor as he could get to. The whole way over, he is either tripping on palm fronds or slipping on coconut shells, to the point when he gets close enough, Captain Sable, the two crewmates, and the stall keeper, the goblin, all stop their conversation, and at the exact same time, all turn to look over at where Mordain is kind of trying to stand and not be noticed.
So as they're doing that, I want to use my telekinetic mage hand to make the hand invisible and basically take the difference in what they're trying to haggle from the proprietor.
Oh, so they're distracted by you. You're going to pick the proprietor's pocket?
Yes, and my mage hand, the telekinetic thing makes the mage hand invisible.
Yes. So give me a sleight of hand with advantage because you're using mage hand.
Oh, I can't do guidance. Wrong character. Oh yeah, I can do guidance. Guidance.
Okay, so I get guidance from you?
Yeah, I'd say he's close enough. So yeah, you get D4.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but I'm trying to help. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh God.
What'd you get?
17 in total.
17. That definitely beats his passive deception. He's also kind of distracted by the sudden shocked look on Captain Sable's face as he recognizes Mordain. Like he sees you, Mordain. He recognizes you. Gets this shocked look on his face. And as he starts to kind of approach and walk over to you, you feel an invisible hand kind of tug at your hand as you have 22 gold pieces in your hand. As your mage hand kind of cleverly drops it off into your fingers.
Great.
Well, Mordain, is that really you?
Who else worships the ocean? Who else brings but wonders of life?
You are a creepy motherfucker. Listen, did the rest of the crew survive?
Survive but a snake, and much to learn. They're right over.
Kind of looks past your shoulder to see Kunlun and Bungo. Bungo starts waving. Captain Sable waves back. Oh, I must apologize. When that snake attacked our camp, nearly killing two of my crewmates, we cut it open and began to harvest it. And that's when we noticed a bunch of skeletons inside. To be honest, we just assumed it was you and everybody else. We assumed you dead, and made our way off the island. We did wait until the following morning, so we must have just missed each other by a few hours, I think.
Well, it hurt our feelings.
Well, I do apologize. Master Kunlun, I do have all your gear still. Unfortunately, your buckets of shit, well, were pretty rank, so we set them on the docks.
Oh, I can go look for them, but thank you for returning my gear.
Of course. By the way, I take it then Zephora and Slick are still alive as well. Have you guys made contracts or made agreements to another ship then? Is that how you made it here?
Well, in a way, we have
patched together an old ship.
Oh,
yes.
So you have your own ship now.
In the manner of speaking, yes.
Interesting. Well, fortune's favor. Well, since you're still alive, you should be allowed your share of the bounty. He will hand you 5 small bags of 75 gold in each small bag.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I appreciate your honesty, Captain.
Well,
Thank you, Captain.
hard for me to get crew if they think I'm useless as shite. But what's the name of your vessel then?
I believe the Red Tide.
Yeah, it's the Red Tide.
Have you heard
Captain
of it?
Sable. Yeah, Captain Sable gets this incredulous look on his face. Looks over at the other two crew. Xerxes, one of the sailors. That's impossible. The Red Tide went down years ago. Is it a newer vessel that's been commissioned with the name?
We think it's
you
just
can look
bits
at
and
it.
pieces put together. It's not all the Red Tide, but there's big chunks of it that are.
You watch as Captain Sable pulls out his spyglass and aims it in the direction of the harbor.
It's the one with red sails.
Yeah, it sticks out. It's the only one with red sails, by the way.
Oops.
So like
Someone
he
spell.
he pans over towards it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I see Zephora is still alive. She's flipping me off." Well, it would seem, mates, that they are in possession of the Red Tide. There's no mistaking those infamous sails. Where did you lot find that thing? I would have imagined it would have been long at the bottom of the sea by now.
There was a ramshackle village at one end of the island, and it was moored up there. It was in a state of repair, and we just managed to help and fix it and get her on the sea.
Any signs of the previous crew? Any signs of Captain Blackmane?
Not a living soul could be seen.
There are signs, but, in a manner of speaking.
Of course. They must have suffered a great deal of damage to the ship, found their way to the Island of Knowledge, and were marooned there, unable to repair their ship. My understanding is the Red Tide was involved in a battle with the Tal'Dorei Navy some 4 or 5 years ago. That was the last time it was ever seen. Captain Blackmane was a well-respected pirate captain. It'll be good to know that something can be said about what had happened to him and his crew. That's unfortunate. I had always had a secret hope that Captain Blackmane was still alive, but clearly not.
We haven't, out of character, Captain Blackmane hasn't been one of the departed crew that we've...
No, but those were the items that you recovered were his.
Yeah. So
but you have not seen
technically
his
still be
ghostly visage.
Got it.
It's possible, maybe.
What have you heard about the captain? Did he have a particular cove or headquarters where he would...
No, Captain Blackmane was a true sailor. Preferred the open water at all times. I would imagine to be grounded on the island must have been sheer hells for him to be there. Captain Blackmane was ruthless, cunning, and had a knack for the supernatural. I believe he kind of wandered into your spectrum of knowledge, Mordain. He was a bit of a warlock himself.
Sounds like we'll be good friends.
If you could find him alive, I would think it's possible. He was a bit of a follower of Uk'otoa, was my understanding.
We'll go what?
Uk'otoa, the god kraken.
There's a god of krakens? Ooh.
Sort of. Anyways, I'm glad to see that all of you are still alive. Me and the rest here are finishing our purchases for supplies. We leave on the morrow tide, heading to the archipelagos. I would say good luck to you, but I don't necessarily want you to have luck against what I'm trying to do. So, well, say hi to Zephora and the others for me, and good tidings to you. You watch as he kind of eggs the other two crewmen, and the three of them just kind of disappear into the crowd, heading towards the next stalls to finish more
Did they
purchases.
abandon their deal, or did they finish their deal?
They abandoned the deal, from what you can tell.
Got it.
There's a very upset goblin. There's like a very upset goblin on the ground trying to find his missing coins.
Oh, sir.
Well,
can I,
That's one thing down.
Can I have a piece of salmon for a gold piece?
A piece of salmon for a gold piece. I could give you a whole fucking string of salmon for a gold piece.
I'll take that.
Okay. Hold on. I had some gold here. Now I can't find it. It's kind of upsetting. Give me a sec. Okay.
Takes out his dagger, clips off a couple ends of the corded rope, ties it together in like a little handheld loop. A string of like 4 smoked cod are kind of like hanging on it, and he hands it off to you and takes the gold piece and goes, "Oh, well, enjoy." Everyone give me perception checks as you got to glance at the other things that he has here.
6.
6.
17.
17.
Sorry, what are we rolling?
Perception.
13.
13. I would say, Bungo, between the three of you, you see it first. Stenciled in kind of like poorly painted letterings and words, there's a variety of towns and cities kind of painted onto these boxes, different names strewn all up and down the coast of Western Tal'Dorei, as well as some of the larger islands that kind of like scattered throughout Western Tal'Dorei as well. These all look to be stolen goods. Fabrics, weapons, foodstuffs, tins of food, like camping equipment and other sundries that appear to be decently made. But you do notice something, Bungo, a very kind of nice looking longsword that's kind of leaning in amongst the boxes. The pommel and handle look to be made of pearl, silver, and gold. The blade is beyond anything you've ever seen before. There's even kind of like writings and runes written into the flat of the blade itself, kind of carvings. So you get the feeling this blade might be magical. So you're not really sure if the goblin's aware of that, but it's kind of in and amongst the boxes.
Yeah, that's kind of pretty.
Goblin looks over where you point. Yeah.
Is it real, or is it like a fancy dress thing?
Oh, he goes over and he picks it up and he carefully sets it down on the crates in front of him.
I think it's real. It's too. I thought it was too fancy to be an actual sword for use. It kind of looks ceremonial to me.
That was my thought too, but it would look good hanging on a wall.
Well, I was told it was taken off out of the hands of a dead naval captain that served the city of Amman.
Oh, that's worth having, just to have something that belongs to a dead captain.
It was a bit of a trophy.
Yeah.
Trophy. I'm in need of coin. I'd be more than happy to sell you this for 100 gold if you want it.
100? Oh my gosh.
Well, to be honest, I don't really want to be caught with it out in the open sea. You know what I mean? If there's an Amman vessel nearby and, you know, they see me with that. Look, it was pretty and shiny at the time when I grabbed it, but I'm okay with the reality of getting rid of it.
Oh my goodness. 100 gold. That's a lot.
Give me a persuasion check on that.
4.
4.
Oh, well, it's fancy. It's really fancy. It's got
fancy.
gold, silver in it. It's nice. It may be ceremonial. Don't know, but I can't really go any lower than that price.
Well, I got 75 from my old captain. Would you take that?
Kind of looks at you. Give me another persuasion check.
I want to try and help him.
Well, you do have a D4 for guidance. And what are you doing to help, Morday?
Stabbing him in the head.
I could do that.
Oh my god. Non sequitur, but that movie, what is it? The King, the one with Henry V with Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
The scene where he stabs the guy in the head with his dirk.
Oh, at the end.
Sounds like a coconut just thunk. Oh.
I will try and flatter him a little bit. Like you can't tell if it's persuasion or intimidation because Mordain's doing it in a way that his normal voice cadence. Like, look at the store with all the salmon. Oh, so good.
That'll give you advantage, Bungo. Yeah, give me persuasion with advantage while Mordain's kind of doing that creepy whisper voice that he does.
That time was a 15.
Nice. Kind of looks at the little leather bag filled with the coin. Kind of makes a little sigh. All right. Hands you the blade and takes the 75 gold.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Pretty. Kind of flimsy, though. Snaps it in half. Oops, sorry.
What does he do with that gold? What does the proprietor do with that gold right away?
He tucks it into the vest, his little leather vest that he's wearing, and puts it in the inside pocket.
Okay. I was feeling
So we
really
know where to look on
right
his body.
pass.
You gonna try and steal it back?
I was thinking about being a shyster, but the fact that he put in his jacket, nah.
It's mid-morning.
I'll,
you guys
I'll
pretty
wrap
much
that
have the
sword
day.
up in something so it's not obvious that it's shiny.
Okay. Yeah, you wrap it up in some like leather and cloth that you have in your backpack and bundle it in such a way that you strap it onto your backpack. So it just kind of looks like this, 4 foot long, something that no one can really see.
What are we going to do about the bell? Do you think the ship needs its original bell, or any bell will do?
I was having a thought on the voyage over about all of the missing pieces. I can do my summon the wrath of the sea. I was thinking we could make sort of like a little ceremony and do something together. Kunlun, you can do your meditation. Mordain, you could commune with the depths. I could summon the wrath of the sea, and then I could cast the cantrip mending on the ship and see if anything shows to any of us where any of these pieces might be. I don't know.
Okay.
We could try it.
Sure.
Kunlun's like, that's a very cognizant answer. You're like, maybe I should get high all the time.
Woohoo!
Okay. Well, where do we have more business on the shore before we do this?
Yeah, I wanted to see if I could find some planters so we could keep some get some plants growing on the ship, and then some foodstuffs for the voyage. Where are we heading next?
Zephora hasn't mentioned yet.
Well, maybe get a week. We should go back to the ship and find out how much food we need.
Zephora would have mentioned at least 2 weeks worth of food for the journey.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we got to get at least 2 weeks worth of food. I can supplement it with good berry. So, and I'll do cooking. So, out of character, I'll put my cook's skill test to the trying to plan meals for the 5 of us for the next 2 weeks.
There's the largest shop that's still here, other than the smaller stalls that have some items you could take from. Is the Ember Exchange. So the general goods shop is probably the best opportunity for getting enough supplies to last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So give me a perception check with advantage, and you can have guidance as well as you examine the supplies and the other things within the general goods shop.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm also going to keep an eye out for like a pawn shop or a secondhand store.
Okay.
Uh, 13. 14.
There is a half-elven gentleman that kind of catches you kind of looking over the goods. He looks at Mordain, looks at Kunlun. Well, a young halfling. Pleasure. Is there something I can help you find? You seem to be in need of something, and I would like to try to help.
Oh, thanks. Just looking to plan some meals for voyage, probably about 2 weeks, and then I was looking to try to grow some of my own plants on the ship while we're out at sea, kind of supplement our food.
You'll just be happy to know that I found some buckets of shit near a dock. Brought those over. I actually sell barrels of manure and other items. I can sell you 2 barrels of manure. I can sell you 2 weeks provisions, water, and other supplies for 25 gold.
Well, can I just get the empty barrels? You see, I am a druid and I can create water.
I can sell you empty barrels for, say 4 empty barrels for a gold piece.
Done. And Kunlun, being our expert in manure, can you check these out and see what their quality is and what you would recommend us to take?
Well, if you found them on the shore, I can assure you the quality is most excellent because I know where this manure came from.
It's full of Kunlun shit. Kunlun's over there. Kunlun's like, that high school kid smelling his own farts. He's like...
That's the money can buy.
I thought he had barrels of manure, though.
He does. I would say that, Kunlun would be able to pick up on the fact that the buckets that he found at the dock would have been mixed in with the barrels. And it's like human night soil collection, animals eat night soil. It's like somebody obviously goes through the town and cleans up all the kind of waste that gets kind of handled through the town and then gets put into barrels and then is sold to the different people in the market for whatever purpose they might have for it.
Okay.
This is probably good manure. Do you have any special mushrooms that might grow in this manure?
I do not imbibe in the cultivation of the mushroom, but if you head on over to the Sulphur Lily and talk to Ervin Myrle, she would be more than happy to sell you some of the more fancy things that can be found on this island.
Excellent.
What about alcohol?
She would have some as well. I do have some rum and other distilleries. You could also make your way over to the Smoldered Keel. They sell it by the barrel, by the bottle, and by the cup.
Okay.
I have Tal'Dorei tequila. I've got windswept whiskey. I've got what they call sharpened fang. I've also got what's called smoky burp, as well as golden ale, depending on what you'd like to take with you.
How much for smoky burp?
Smoky burp. That is a local concoction made from the fermentation of the fruit of the island. It's made in the old smoked barrels that get empty throughout their use. I have a case of 6 bottles that I could sell you. By the bottle, it is 12 gold apiece, and by the case, it would be 100 gold.
Maybe we'll check out the mushrooms first.
Well, I can assure you that Mistress Ervin, she is someone that you could count on for getting you the most interesting things of specialized properties. I wouldn't recommend drinking her wormwood, though. That can really fuck you up.
Really? Tell me more.
No, I will not be responsible for what happens to you, but thank you.
Oh, well, you've said it now. Looking forward to meeting this person.
So was he selling us rations as well? I forgot.
Yes. So he was
Okay.
going to sell you everything that you would need for 2 weeks.
Okay. And were there any like saplings or berry bushes, any like nursery type stuff?
No, you get the feeling that maybe over at the apothecary, your odds would be better there for that.
Gotcha. And how much did that hurt?
For the supplies you need for the 2 weeks,
Yeah.
the barrels of manure, the empty barrels, and then the rations are going to run you 15 gold. Because
That's
you said no to the other barrels. So
okay. To the water barrels, yeah, we don't need those.
Yep.
Just the empty barrels. Okay, so 15 gold. Okay.
Correct.
I'll pay it out of my pocket.
okay. Thank you kindly, young aspiring halfling. Is there anything else in my wares that you would like?
I think that's good. Do you have any seeds?
No, Everin would probably have the seeds that you would need.
That'd be that guy over there.
That would be the female elf that runs the apothecary.
Oh, that lady. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. You know, you're at sea long enough. Everything looks the same.
Okay. Thank you. And what was your name, good sir?
My name is Lanik.
Alec,
Lanik,
nice to meet you. I'm
Lanik, Lanik the Vane. Pleasure to meet you as well.
nice to meet you, Lanik.
Hey,
I'm sure we'll
Bungo,
be back.
You know, I have heard that sometimes when you go on a ship voyage for a long time, you get this mysterious sickness, and your teeth start falling out, and your eyeballs bleed, and you lose.
Does your ship not have a cleric aboard? Most ships will have at least a single cleric to provide the lesser and greater restoration of oneself.
Sure,
Or you could buy a crate of tropical fruit off me. That should solve
well,
the problem
I
as
would
well.
rather buy. I don't know about this tropical fruit business. It's hippie nonsense. I don't trust. I'd rather get my vitamin C.
Says the monkish hippie.
I would rather get my vitamin C from the good verified source, boiled cabbage. Do you have any boiled cabbage? Or
You watch as the half elf looks at the subtropical island environment with all the subtropical fruit and fish and subtropical everything, and he leans in towards you. I'm not really sure any of these people know what a cabbage is, young man.
Oh, it's a magical vegetable.
Oh, I'm aware of what it is. I do come from Tal'Dorei, but most of the indigenous folk here, they are locals. They prescribe to the fruit and to the wilds and the foraging of such things.
What about beets? Do you have any beets?
Oh, yeah. He goes over to a crate, brings a crate of pickled beets over and sets it down in front of you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, how much for this?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure when I got it. I've been told the longer it sits, the better it gets.
Absolutely.
Let's call it 2 gold for the 12 jars.
Excellent. I will take this.
You guys watch as Goodlin takes the small crate of pickled beets, and for the two of you, you kind of look at the top of the crate, and you know how when things sit for a very long time, they get this discoloration on the lid, and there's a little bit of swell to the copper lid that's on the jars as well, and it's kind of got that kefir milk look vibe to the interior of the beets. You could see, at the very bottom, there's this red and green kind of sludge, but mixed in is all the yeast and pickling element, kind of swirling in there as well. And and there's this sharp, tangy odor kind of like wafting off the crate as well.
You don't have to worry about supply of good quality manure for the next couple months, Bondo. I promise you.
Just remember, it's not blood, so don't freak out.
I'm used to it.
Oh my god, red cabbage, red beets, and it looked like a murder scene.
Raspberry sorbet.
Oh, that was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. Definitely
Yeah.
unnecessary.
And
Villainous
who you ask?
inspiration.
Everything's necessary.
Okay, what next? We go to this lady who sells mushrooms and other stuff. Alcohol, yes. And then what?
Sure, let's stop by that apothecary over there. That elven lady, too.
As you guys say goodbye to Lennox, you start weaving your way through the drunken crowd, kind of like you have to pass by the tavern to like go around it to get over to where the apothecary is. It's on the other side of the town. The crowd is, I mean, it's not even midday yet. Like it's like the morning is just getting wrapped up. It's like that mid-morning vibe, but people are staggering around drunk, and you can hear a fight breaking out at the far end of the road. You look up to see somebody being tossed off the second story of the brothel. You just see this thin, scrawny human dressed in all leathers kind of getting thrown off the balcony of the brothel. You just hear him scream. There's like a crunchy noise as he hits the ground, and the whole, like, everyone just bursts out laughing and kind of cackling over at him. The three of you kind of like step up onto the porch of Everin's the sulfur lily, and are immediately overwhelmed with the smell of everything herbaceous that you can imagine. There in the middle of her apothecary shop, Kudlin, is this large tree stump that's about 6 feet tall and maybe about 2.5 feet around. And carefully kind of like inoculated and put in to the tree trunk are dozens of different kinds of mushrooms of various colors. From blue to black to yellow to green, pan mushrooms. There's all of these different varieties of hallucinogenic mushrooms that have kind of just like overwhelmed this massive old tree log that she's clearly grown it into. You could also see, tied with twine and rope, all of these herbs kind of hanging from the rafters and the wooden beams up in the ceiling. You could hear the churning of a cauldron, like the bubbling of the lid of a pot, kind of boiling over. It's both kind of warm and very kind of musky smelling in here. You look to see Everin kind of look up from this big, thick apothecary book. Oh, I have visitors. Hello? What can old Everin do for the lot of you?
Oh, hello, young lady. How are you?
Oh, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
Well, we have...
You look like you're in need of a sample. You watch as she plucks off a red mushroom and walks over to you and just jams it into your mouth. Pops it right into your mouth. Give me...
I did.
Give me a con save, if you would, please, Kunlun.
There was something I had. You can use Dex instead of Strength. Never mind. Wait, what?
What?
No. No, there was something I can use something instead of something else. Wisdom instead of
con?
No, instead of Strength modifier. Never mind.
Gotcha.
So con, yeah. Oh shit!
Woohoo!
Kunlun just like drops on
Take
the
all your
floor.
clothes off.
It's been a while. Oh,
Happened to me.
Wrong stuff.
What'd you get?
One.
One. You guys watch as Kulin just sheds off all of his clothes and he's standing there buck-ass naked and sweat just pouring off of his body. Everything around you, Kulin, is multicolored. It's impossibly hot in here. There's 3 of everything. Your blurred vision is pulsing in and out. And you just kind of turn around and you start wandering out of the shop and into the crowded street.
I love the universe and when it speaks to me.
Miss, do you have any counteragents?
I don't know what that is. What's a counter agent?
Counteractive? Anything to...
Oh, no. There's no coming down from that high. He'll be fine in about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? She goes over the tree trunk and she picks off a green one, an orange one, and a yellow one. She kind of squeezes them together and she makes a little invocation. And you watch as the powder falls into a little leather piece of leather skin, and she kind of folds that up and ties it with a string. Give this to him in the morning. It'll make him feel better.
All right. Thank you.
Now you've lost track of Kulin. Kulin's out in the crowd.
Oh shit!
Don't forget my beats.
And it's like a pile of his clothes and everything on the floor right next to his little crate of pickled beets.
Mordain, we need to go find him.
Mordain, give me a perception check or investigation, your choice. Because you're hearing Bungo say something, but the contents of the shop are pretty intriguing.
Perception at 16.
16. You're kind of half listening to Bungo. Your eye is focused on a series of shelves that she has kind of in the wall of her shop, right? And her shop is palm fronds and local palm trees that have been cut down and carved, and it's got that kind of that kind of subtropical vibe. But carefully curated on these hand carved shelves are these jars, and there's a lot of them. There's maybe 3-4 dozen of these small, poorly made jars with these clay ceramic sealants on top of them. And you look at one jar's got a floating eyeball in it. You look at another jar and it's got a floating hand. You look at another jar, it's got a floating foot in it. Give me an insight check, if you would, please.
Hold on. I'm going to do this real next.
Reminds me of my days in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Oh, I want to throw them everywhere. What am I rolling?
Insight.
Insight. 1 dice goblin. 14. Insight is a 15.
15.
Is guidance?
I mean, yeah, because Bungo would be nearby, so you can add a D4 to that.
Why not see how high I can get it?
Because Bungo's standing at the doorway looking for Kunlin, and you're right against the wall, kind of looking at all these jars.
That's a 21.
4
15,
plus
19. 19.
Hey,
stop looking at the Vecna jars. We got to go find Kunlun.
There is almost a complete person here. You don't know if it's the same person or not, but in all these different little jars are enough body parts to account for an entire body, practically. Even the jars with the floating organs, there's even a jar with some atrophied small brain matter in it. There's this dark sensation that kind of takes over you. You're there's almost as you stare at it, you hear a whisper in your mind. Help me. And then you hear the whisper again. Help me.
Can I reply?
You can try.
What do you offer?
Help me and I'll show you where it's hidden.
Where what's hidden?
A treasure. A treasure unlike anything you've ever seen. Help me and I'll show you where it's hidden.
Okay, I'll help.
So you buying all the jars, Mordain?
I will buy all the jars.
So Bungo, as you kind of stumble out of the shop while Mordain's buying all these curio jars.
Mordain, wait here.
Bungo then heads out
I'll
into the
meet you
busy
here.
streets.
As Bungo's saying, like, wait here, you hear kind of an echo of, help me. Yes, I will.
Yeah, does Bungo get any Ghostwise bleed over of that?
Not necessarily. Not inherently being a Ghostwise halfling. There's definitely Mordain definitely had a creepy look on his face, and he was kind of talking to himself in a whispered voice, and he seemed very like obsessed with the shelves. Like he was like very much into what these little jars of things were on the shelves. You're chasing after Kunlun at this point?
Oh God, yes.
Okay. You run out into the town. Mordain, you've acquired 36 small ceramic jars, and they were a silver apiece. So that's going to be 3 gold and 6 silver to buy them all.
What a bargain. I wonder if that's black mean.
Jars. Okay.
And as you're putting she gives you this little wooden box. And the jars are pretty small, except for a couple of them that hold larger kind of bits of tissue or organs. And every time you put a jar in, you hear the whispered voice go, careful with that. Don't break that. Right? You put the jar in the box, then you put another one in. And there's at one point where you grab one of the jars with like the eye in it. The eye actually kind of swivels to look at you, and the iris kind of like moves around a bit, but there's no eyelid, so doesn't really have an ability to blink, but it kind of like dilates in and out. And they're these deep brown eyes that you kind of the brain matter, and then the organs, and then another foot, pieces of tissue and bone. It's all very strange, but this whisper continues, this kind of reassurance, this idea that you're helping something or someone who may be trapped in these jars. Possibly. This could be some serious dark magic. This intrigues you. And like each time you touch a jar, there's little sparks of green lightning that kind of caress off your fingertips on top of the jar. And this feeling that you're interacting with something that is truly trapped, and whatever magic was used to trap it just has you intrigued. And over the next 10-15 minutes, you acquire all these jars, put them neatly in this wooden box. Bungo, as you leave Mordain behind in the apothecary shop, the Sulfured Lily, you head out into the cobblestones and kind of coral streets, and it's all sand, cobbles, and gravel. And there's Kunlun, naked as a jaybird, high as fuck, just beelining it up to people. He seems to be lost in like talking to somebody who kind of looks him up and down in his whole naked form. And like another person is trying to tie a blanket around his waist, which immediately sets Kunlun off like a trigger, and he starts bounding towards another crowd.
I will run up to him and try to put my hand in his, like I'm a child and he's holding my hand.
I'll call that a grapple contest. So give me athletics or acrobatics. Kunlun, give me athletics or acrobatics with advantage because of your heightened state of alertness.
Athletics or acrobatics.
Bungo, what'd you roll?
9.
18.
So as you try to sneak your childlike hand into Kunlun's hand, Kunlun, you look over to see this most beautiful 2-foot tall like female creature that you've ever seen. She's got long curly hair. She's got these little tiny horns growing out of her forehead, these impressive like unicorn colors on her face that kind of mane down into this weird kind of humanoid satyr-like body with these little kind of cutesy little embellished hooves. She's carrying like something that you don't recognize, but she begins to melt. Her face melts. Her body kind of gets squiggly and kind of just melts into a puddle of wax right at your feet, which immediately sends you off running deeper into the crowd. Bungo, Kunlun was looking at you as if he'd never seen you before. His eyes go wild with fascination and fear at the same time, and his naked form goes bounding deeper into the town streets.
I follow.
Okay. As you continue to follow him through the streets, people are like, whoa, but like, hey,
wait a minute.
what are you doing?
Crackers!
Crackers comes flying in onto your shoulder.
Try to land on him. Land on Kunlun.
Crackers
And
goes
as
flying.
soon as he
And
does,
then-
I'm going to try to cast resistance through Crackers.
Resistance. So what's the resistance that you're doing?
Poison.
Poison? Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Kunlun, give me a Constitution save with advantage, if you would, please.
Natural 20 plus 2.
Nice. I actually put the DC at a 19. All of a sudden, you feel this overwhelming kind of relief kind of come over your body. You're on your hands and knees, naked as a jaybird, and you're vomiting, just like this kind of red goo out of your mouth and onto the ground, just plummeting out of your mouth and onto the ground. There's people standing around you, and just as you kind of like clear the blurred vision and you're looking around, there's Bungo standing like right next to you, kind of helping you up onto your feet.
Oh,
Good mushroom, eh?
Bungo, I saw the most beautiful creature in the world. It was a sylvan goddess of some sort.
I imagine you did.
It was like the universe personified itself to me.
I am familiar with hallucinogenics, but yes, maybe we should go get some more for later under controlled circumstances.
Yeah, let's do that. And I would like to make some concoctions.
And you
Yeah,
you need to cover your giant changeling wang.
You like watches Kunlun looks down at himself and looks around, and like, you know, everyone's either staring, pointing, like some of the boys are like, oh my, some of the girls are like, no way, you know, just kind of like walking by. Yeah.
But let's make our way back to the store.
Before long, Mordain,
around-
as you
yeah.
finish packing up the box, you look to see Kunlun and Bungo come in. Kunlun goes over, quickly puts his clothes back on. Everin smiles at you, Kunlun, and brings you over like this leather bag filled with a sample of every mushroom she has.
Do you have any written instructions on how to grow your own? Care for them?
Well, you can crush the mycelium fibers of the ones that I've given you, and you could attempt to grow any of them on your own accord. They prefer the dark, the damp, and in beds of either wood or shit, depending on what you have available.
Excellent.
Me
I
too.
think we have both.
Everin just smiles. Everin looks like the local drug dealer that knows that if she gets him hooked, he'll just keep coming back for more. Meanwhile, Mordain now has a big wooden box that he has to carry in his hands filled with body parts. in jars.
Amazing.
And
So we'll say you guys quickly like head down to the dock and tender, unloading the beets and the crates and everything that you've gotten so far into the tender, covering it up with the tarpaulin. It's midday. It's past afternoon at this point. Where would you guys like to go next?
before we left, I did want to see if I could get some saplings and bushes or any type of food.
Yeah,
stuff
she
or
would have.
healing
She would have.
herbs.
She would provided you with herb plants and fruit and vegetable plants for this environment for 2 gold.
And
Awesome.
Kunlun wants to buy the bottle of that wormwood or whatever the other guy.
It's called Lily's Wormwood. 2 bottles of that, and the sample of all the mushrooms will run you 5 gold.
Very nice. I appreciate your business.
I
And-
believe I'm supposed to tell you I appreciate your business, but
But I also
that's
appreciate
okay.
your business. I appreciate you have a business.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was an adventure. Did we also get planter boxes for the herbs? Did they come like?
Yeah, that would have been the stuff that you got from Lannick. It's
Okay.
like these little tiny boxes. You also have lumber on the ship, so you can build stuff as well.
Okay. Sounds good. What did you get, Mordain?
Just he opens the box like happiness.
It's just filled with little jars of body parts.
Interesting. Neat. Okay.
You hear a whisper. You hear a whisper in your head, Mordain. He won't do. He's too small. We'll have to find something a little bit bigger for this to work.
I kind of retort back, I don't know what you mean, but fuck off my friends.
So where would you guys like to go to next? There is the Smoldering Keel, the Curio Oddity Shop, the Gilded Ember. You've been to Sulphur Lily. You've been over to the Ember Exchange, which is Lannick's shop. So it's Smoldered Keel or the Gilded Ember, or visit some more of the market stalls.
You said there was an oddity shop?
Yes, there is a place called the Gilded Ember, and it just, you could see a tiefling who is currently sorting through jars and boxes. She's got a kind of dark, mysterious vibe about her. She seems to be sorting things out, and she looks over and smiles when she sees Kunlun, and just kind of, that was a very pleasant afternoon break watching your friend run naked through the streets. Must have been at Sulphur Lily's. She's a bit of a trickster at times. My name is Seraphina. How may I
Serafina.
interest you in my wares, my oddities from the edge of the world, my curiosities from the caverns of mysteries? I have the things that no one else really truly seems to want.
Like what?
Well, it depends. Do you want a bag of marbles made from the dried balls of murdered orcs? Would you like a glass of liquid that's unexplainable? Would you like some ember stones that come from the deepest, darkest volcanoes and no one knows quite what they're used for? I have little bits of this, I have little bits of that. It just depends on what you might be looking for.
Tell me more about the mysterious liquid.
She kind of walks over to a little bookcase and she pulls these metal tins off of the shelf and she brings it over. She pops open the tin and you watch as a pseudopod kind of sucker kind of comes out like feral fluid, and it's kind of moving. It forms into the shape of small tentacles, and she kind of like hits it with the back of her hand, and then it goes back into the tin, and she puts the tin lid back on top of it.
Ooh, liquid tentacle, Mordain. Jar o tentacle.
Like strokes like his like imaginary thick hair, like more tentacles, you say? Like also carrying his box, like Tell me more.
Oh, we've taken all that stuff back, and we're back in town.
Yeah, you took it all you took it all to the tender. That way you don't have to be carrying it around. Seraphine, well, anybody else interested? If you'd like some of this pharaoh liquid that I can sell you, I can sell you this tin for 10 gold.
So what do you do with it?
I don't know. No one knows what to do with it. It seems to have its will of its own. It's both magical and some would say a creature of sorts.
Bourdain, this seems to be more up your alley.
I want to investigate this.
Give me a nature check as you examine the tin and the bubbling feral fluid that's inside of it.
Guidance, or I could make my own nature.
Well, you could. Guidance is remember. Guidance is an area of effect now. So as long as you're not concentrating on another spell, guidance is always up and working within 30 feet of you.
Sounds good.
Is any because the others are there? Are they technically helping me?
Yeah, you have my guidance.
You have a D4 for guidance, and I would say you have advantage from Bungo helping. Yeah.
Great. I have a 5 and a natural 5, natural 1. Is a 9.
Because I'm helping, you can re-roll the natural 1.
No, that's halflings only.
Aww.
You're not sure what this is. You've never seen it before. Every time your finger goes near it, it kind of parts away from your finger. You kind of like thump at the edge of the tin, and part of the feral fluid comes kind of bouncing out of the tin onto the ground, onto the cabinet, and it kind of bounces around and then retracts back into the tin. And it's almost like a greenish yellow color.
Interesting. Okay.
Got any pirate ship flags or ship's bells or anything like that? Artifacts of the sea?
I do, in fact.
Okay. Could we see some?
She walks over and she takes this big open crate full of like 30 or 40 flags, sets it in front of you. She then walks over to another crate that's got like 4 or 5 deck bells on it. And, she brings each one over. Bit of a collector of oddities, like I said. I don't know if any of them are magical or not. That's not quite my speciality of knowledge. But you're welcome to look if you'd like.
Kunlun tries to attune to any of them and sees if they have the same.
Bungo, you and Mordain watch as Kunlun immediately goes into that kind of meditative state. Like maybe he's trying to see if any of these items might be related to the red tide.
Yep. And I'll start going through the flags to see if there are any red ones, because that's...
Yeah, give me investigation as you start rummaging through the flags, Bungo.
Almost a natural 20. 8.
8?
Yeah.
They are a mixture of nautical flags, flags that clearly look to have been recovered in the wild, like destroyed, torn flags. Nothing in the box that feels like it would be connected to the red tide.
Okay. Start reading the inscriptions on the bells.
Yeah, give me for that one. You can give me perception or investigation. Your choice.
Perception is muy better. 13.
Okay. 13. Did you give yourself guidance?
No.
You can always give yourself guidance on any check.
Oh. Okay.
Remember, D4 is any skill or ability check.
Yeah, but it says others, so. Okay. 15.
15. All of the bells seem to be either cracked or worn. Former bells that would be used to toll the crew to deck of other ships. One is called the Minstrel. Another one is called the Ruby. Another one is called the Golden Chase. Another one is called, the Ivory Take. All of these kind of like different names. None of them appear to mention the red tide on any of them, but one of the bells has a bit of a false patina to it. You rub off the patina, and underneath that bell is made of solid silver, like this silver finish to it. While you don't see any signs of the red tide, it is far too fancy to be in this shop.
How much for this one with all the grime on it?
I could sell you that one for a gold piece. Piece of junk,
Done.
to be honest with you.
Done.
Very good, very good. She grabs the gold piece from you and she sets the big heavy bell in your hands.
Thank you.
Of course, of course. Anything I can do to help you, more than happy to. Especially when there's gold. So, young Molding, did you want to buy this ferrofluid in the tin? It's only 10 gold.
How's about make it 8?
Give me persuasion on that one. And you can have advantage as well because you're creepy.
And guidance.
And guidance. D4 for guidance.
So I got a 24. Is there any? Does that mean I can negotiate lower, or do I stick to? Does it stick to the 8?
I would say that in the midst of negotiations, she will agree to 5 gold. She will also, she's given you a green and yellow ferrofluid tin. And for that 5 gold, she's also going to give you another tin that has red ferrofluid in it. Like, she is so caught up by your charm and your creepiness. I mean, one creeper to another creeper. She's just kind of caught up into you and gladly sells you the 2 tins of ferrofluid. One is red and one is green.
Perfect. So this is ferrofluid?
At least that's what she describes it as, yeah.
Okay.
Ferro.
So 1 tin of
Feral.
like
Feral.
feral cat.
Yeah,
Like wildcat.
Feral fluid.
Fluid green and fluid.
It's
red.
basically the same kind of vibe that Venom's symbiote fluid
That's
is.
what I'm getting to, yeah.
Yep.
Drink it.
This is wonderful.
Like you watch a Mordain hold it over his mouth and it's all peeling away from him, trying not to be put
No.
down.
There's so much to learn. Not enough time.
Are there any flags with like a happy face on them? Or anything like super innocuous and nice?
I mean, probably the coolest flag you could find that kind of matches that vibe. It's basically an image of a mouse folk with like
Tobias.
with like flowers around him, and the Latin words "e pluribus unum" underneath, and then in common the admiral's flag. Otherwise, they're just kind of like nautical flags for signaling.
Are there any flags with naked man on them?
Oh, yeah, I would say there's at least one flag in there with a naked image on it, like a naked sketch or outline of like multiple, like maybe 2 or 3 naked persons, kind of all with their hands and arms over each other's shoulders, like staring off in the distance.
That's the one. How much for that one? How much for that one?
She looks at you, the flag. 5 silver, I could sell you that one for.
Okay, and while we're talking, do you have any like mystical things to, like tarot cards or focus crystals or, something to open up my chakras?
She looks at you, she kind of crosses her arms and kind of gives you a head tilt. It just so happens I do have some tarot cards. You watch as she goes over to a shelf, picks off a leather card holder that would be tarot card size. She sets it down in front of you. I can't remember who I bought this off of, but I think these are actual traditional tarot cards. They're designed.
Just a moment, then. I know this. I know this.
Oh,
Tarot cards are supposed to be gifted. How much do you want for them?
oh, that's true. That's true. Well, I would be asking 5 gold, of course.
I will hand over 5 gold for
And
you,
then
Kunlun.
And then Kunlun, the heavy leather pack of tarot cards, has now been gifted to you from Bungo.
Well, thank you very much. I will put them to good use. I hope.
You were going to say something about them before I interrupted you because I'm a jerk?
Oh no, that's quite all right. Transaction has been made. I hope they service you and give you many good readings.
I'd still love to hear the story.
Oh, no story, dear boy. No story at all.
Okay.
Okay.
What would you guys like to do next?
So Kunlun was also trying to see if there's like any kind of like horror related to ship from any of the items, like the bells.
Yeah, give me investigation as you start kind of looking around the shop.
13.
13? I mean, there's a lot of like crystals and little orbs and little kind of strange glass spheres and other things, but as you interact with them, you can tell that they're all just simple enchantments, either for to provide light or provide like these little illusions. Nothing fanciful enough to really catch your eye.
I just remembered we don't have gunpowder, do we? Or cannonballs.
You do not.
Okay.
I don't even think you have enough metal to do the repairs on the cannons yet.
Okay. That's what I'll be looking for next.
Where would you guys like to go to next?
What time is it?
I would say it's early afternoon by now through all your shopping.
Go back to the general provisioner. Gonna need some cannonballs and cannon powder.
What's your passive perception? What's everybody's passive perception?
14.
Okay.
13.
As you guys come walking out of the oddity shop, you're back in amongst the market stalls. You can see this very kind of heavy set hobgoblin has set up almost like a junkyard of sorts. And sure enough, you can see that he has a makeshift kind of smithy set up. He also has iron bars kind of stacked nearby. And he's got all sorts of like naval equipment and ship equipment and shipwright equipment and tools and everything that you might need. You can see that he's carefully stacked up cannonballs to be sold. There's small kegs of black powder kind of off to the side. There's little boxes of small fuses, kind of stacked neatly as well. You get within like close distance to his stall, and you begin to realize he's kind of got everything here that you might need for back on the ship.
Okie dokie. Do you do repairs, my good sir?
Oh, well, I'm capable of repairs. Yes, I am. My name is Hobart. What kind of ship of the line do you have? Is it a sloop, war galley, or a great vessel for war? What do you have?
I don't know. What is it?
I mean, you describe it to him, and he's like,
Okay.
Well, a galley then. What requires repairment?
The cannons have been, let's say, neglected for quite some time.
Yes, super fishes and cracks and reinforcing of the metal. Of course, I can do that for you. It should not be too difficult. I can bring my equipment with me and do it on board your ship, of course.
You might say we may need a new battery.
A new what?
Or cannons.
Oh, battery. I see what you did there. You kind of mixed reality with fantasy. That was excellent. Excellent. Yes. Is there anything else you require? If I'm going to make the journey over, I might as well bring everything with me.
How much are your services?
Well, it depends. I sell in volume. The more I do, the cheaper I get.
I meant for the repairs.
Ah,
Well, I suppose you have to see them first, but
well, of course. But by the description, I would imagine some reforging of the metalwork, rewiring of, and rebinding of the cannon as well, to make it usable. Are you in possession of ammunition and things you might need for your cannons to work?
no.
I can supply those for you as well. What is your budget, young man? How much gold can you offer me?
Let me see. Party inventory. We have 100 gold, right? Personally, not much. I'm afraid. I've only got 100 gold I can spare.
Well, that's not very much. Do you have anything for trade by chance?
How about 2 small dragon teeth? Genuine.
Fascinating. I'm not too concerned about dragon teeth. I have no fashioning of it for any purpose. Are you by chance in possession of any dragon scales, perhaps?
Slick had those.
Yes, we have 20 dragon scales.
Ah. I would say for 100 gold, and let's say 5 of your best dragon scales, I shall repair your cannons and give you enough ammunition for 20 rounds per cannon.
Here's the gold.
Kind of hands the gold. You spend the next few minutes kind of like describing the vessel, the Red Tide, and where it's anchored at. And, well, very well. I will be there this evening to begin my work, of course.
Excellent. Thank you, Hobart.
Of course, of course. It is now mid-afternoon. What would you guys like to do?
Let's get the rest of the shit that... Well, okay. Out of character, you guys. I think we should get the rest of the shit we bought back on the ship, and then we can come back to town and get in trouble.
Sounds good
I
to me.
like.
So we'll say that takes the remainder of the day to get everything kind of tendered out to the ship, unloaded and offloaded, just in time for you to welcome Hobart to the ship just as the sun is setting. Zephora and Slick will guide Hobart down below into the gunner's deck to begin his work on all of the cannons and other activity. We'll also say that Zephora came across some extra gold, and we'll give each of you an additional 20 gold for the day's activities.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. I imagine Sephora is chasing Slick around like the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely doing that.
Thank you, Cap.
Thanks, Captain.
Of course. Just, if you're going to get in trouble, make sure it's profitable.
All right.
Well, have fun. We'll just be here working all night.
Is that Sephora saying that?
Yeah.
Absolutely, darling. That's all you're good for.
She just goes, "Fuck you," as you climb down the rope ladder into the tender. Of course, you also hear an ear-piercing shriek, as clearly Hobart has met one of the ghosts.
Yeah. How many scales did he take?
He's going to take 5.
I have updated the party.
It is now nighttime in Embermist, and this seems to be the time that everybody loves this town the most. The tavern is just bumping, tons of people, and the brothel, the Bridal Mermaid, is very busy as well. The rest of the beach is honeycombed with bonfires and drinking and gambling. All the daytime stalls have been kind of like collapsed in on themselves and put away. It is just a kind of raucous beach party that just covers the entire mile of the beach.
Bungo is going to enjoy the party atmosphere and hunt out someone that looks like an old wise bard or someone that wants to tell stories.
Ooh.
And I am going to spend my entire 20 gold pampering that individual. To
What do you
try
think?
to-
Survival or perception?
I think wisdom, actually.
Wisdom is perception, right?
Wisdom is
I
perception, right?
suppose. Yep.
Yes.
Then perception.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Wait, were we ever gonna do the? We were gonna do the ritual, right? About.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were going to do that too. Should we
What
do that
ritual?
first?
Yeah, let's do
My brain thing where we were going to combine our powers.
Also,
I mean, sober or drunk, one way or the other.
Sober is probably better.
mm,
You guys want to do it back on the ship before you come back into Evermist?
That would probably be a good idea.
Okay, so explain to me your plan. What are you attempting to do?
So I'm going to manifest Wrath of the Sea, do the cantrip Mending on the ship, while Mordain is communing with the sea, and while Kunlun is doing his meditative mumbo jumbo. And just
Gotcha.
I'll hold hands and kumbaya and show us the way, oh great one.
And the intent is to try to find some of these missing objects?
Yeah, to make the ship whole again.
Gotcha. So, spellcasting rolls. Do we need any spellcasting rolls?
Mine, let's see. I thought Mending was.
That's a cantrip, so you're good there.
Okay.
And Mordain, you're communing with the sea. And then Kunlun's going to try to focus specifically on the ship and the missing parts.
Yeah.
As the three of you gather up on the prow of the ship, over by the figurehead that's been kind of modified remains of I think the dragon head, correct? Isn't that what we ended up doing?
Yeah.
We
The
tacked
salted
on
dragon head.
Yeah, you tacked on the meat and skin stripped skull of the dragon onto the figurehead, where the old figurehead used to be. Looking up at the crow's nest and the main mast where the flag should be flying, there's an emptiness there that feels off-putting to all three of you. You then all three stare at the wooden pendulum legs where the bell that would toll the crew to deck is there. But because you're lingering near where the original figurehead would be, and because of the way you had found some of those items kind of buried, in the wooden facade of the ship, there's a sense that all three of you get the sense that Captain Blackmane probably took each of these items. That's the vibe that you get. Mordain, since you're communing with the sea and your eyes cast out into the horizon of the dark sea, you get the feeling that something needs to be sacrificed for the sea to speak to you. What would you like to sacrifice to make this happen?
Can you sacrifice? Like, do I have to throw one of my friends to the water, or like
an item or some wealth or some jewelry or maybe cut off your left pinky finger and throw it into the water, or cut off a lock of hair. The more prestigious the sacrifice, the more likely the commune may happen.
I take
The
10
jar
gold.
with the eyeball.
I take 10 gold and I slice my hand for equivalent of like 5 HP worth.
Nice.
Drop it into the water.
You feel your blood kind of like form over the coins, and you kind of, the sea chant in your mind kind of takes over, and you could feel the cold water kind of in a warm way. And one by one, you drop the coins into the water. And with each time the coin hits the water, this kind of like large ripple burbles out into the stillness of the sea. And with each coin dropping, you feel the tether of the commune kind of get deeper and deeper and connect and connect and connect. Mordain, give me a D100, if you would, please. Bill.
What's Bill doing?
That's not what I thought you were using that lotion for.
Oh no. I got mosquitoes, man.
Oh, it's I was gonna say that pink stuff that you put on to get rid of the itch.
No, it's just Eucerin. But yeah,
Gotcha.
it's not calamine. I wish
Yeah.
I had some.
Yeah.
Ah, son of a-
77.
77. Everything around you gets very quiet and very still. You can see Kunlun is lost into his attunement to the ship. You can see that Bungo is quietly practicing the art of mending around you and Kunlun to kind of help focus on the vessel itself. Mordain, you can't help but notice that at least 24 of the ghostly sailors are now kind of just hovering nearby, staring off into the open sea as if kind of intrigued by who you're calling and what you're calling. The wind falls silent. The water like glass. And you hear that familiar young man's voice. If you help me, then I will help you. You kind of look over the railing and down, and there's that waterlogged sailor, that young boy in his teens, looking up at you through the waterline, rippling, but you could hear his voice with absolute clarity.
Okay.
If you help me, I will help you.
How can I help you?
You can find me. Free me from this curse. And in return, I will guide you to what you look for.
I look forward to working together.
What is it that you seek? What is an item I can help you find?
I seek mastery over the ocean. I seek power from the ocean.
You seek a standard to show your power. You seek a flag,
We seek a flag.
and this flag, did it once wave on the mast of this vessel that you stand upon?
Yes.
The red tide is no ordinary ship. I can feel its pulse. I can feel its deep breath as it waits for its return. There is an island called the Merkmill. Here on this island, seek out an old tomb called the Den of the Silent One. There in the depths of that tomb, you will find what you're looking for. You watch as the last coin drops in the water, the ripples continue. You hear the ocean and the breeze in the background. The ghosts begin to kind of fade away back towards their ghostly crew duties. You look up to see the cut in your hand no longer bleeding, and strangely just now a pink scar on the palm of your hand as the last of the coins sink below the water and down below.
With just a wicked smile, just like. Mm.
Bungo, as you're watching Kunlun in his meditative state, and Mordain kind of at the rail interacting with the open waters of the sea, you practice this art of mending to bolster their attunement to the ship, to bolster their interaction with the ship.
I also had the Wrath of the Sea active.
Yes, and that's what mostly helped Mordain at that point, was to give him visionary guidance out into the vastness of the water. A young sailor, a young ghostly sailor, sits down next to you. And you can see him quite clearly because of your Ghostwise heritage. He was young, a young elf, from what you can tell. There's a grisly wound in his chest that probably is what killed him when he died. This young elf just watches you mend the ship and smiles with a sense of absence or a sense of forlorning towards maybe something he used to do, the ship. Sometimes you catch him mimicking you as you do it. The elf tries to speak towards you, at you. Its mouth hangs open, tries to verbalize and vocalize, but is unable to. You watch as the young elf gets up, goes over to a bucket. Anybody else watching would see a piece of black charcoal being lifted out of a bucket. You see the elven sailor, the ghostly sailor, come walking back over to you, sit down, and begins to sketch on the deck of the ship. It appears to be the outline of a map. Very small map. He begins to draw words. Unfortunately, these words are in Elvish, not in Common. So I don't know if you can read them or not. Do you have the language?
Common, Druidic, Halfling, and Telepathy.
Ooh. Because of your telepathy and Ghostwise heritage, we'll say you can hear his thoughts as he's writing out the words in Elven. So they are telepathically kind of transcribing towards you at the same time. He is drawing a map of a small island that you get the feeling might be even a smaller island that would be connected to a larger chain of islands. So this might match the Merkmill archipelago that you know that Zephora has one of those maps. And you overheard Mordain communing, and that name had popped up during his commune. But this
Merkmill?
Merkmill,
I say that. Merkmill?
Yeah.
To the ghost?
The elf gets excited and he shakes his head at you. His silence kind of a bit overwhelming, but he shakes his head at you. And he's describing a place, a little old town, a little shoreline village called Green Beach.
Green Beach, Merkmill, Green Beach.
And he goes like this, almost making the symbol of a bell with his
The
hand.
bell. Merkmill, Green Beach.
And he gets excited and he finishes drawing the map and he just smiles at you and just kind of fades into
Before
gas.
he goes,
Yeah.
do you want to be released from the ship or do you want to stay on the ship?
Just as he's fading out of existence, he reforms. You watch as he lovingly kind of rubs the deck of the ship. He walks over to the railing and kind of leans over the railing to look down in the water and look up at the sky. And he mouths something, but unfortunately it doesn't come towards you telepathically. It doesn't, but he has a smile on his face. A smile of content. He feels at home on the ship, is the vibe that you get from him.
I will join you one day.
And then he just fades into the woodwork of the ship. Kunlun, you can hear Bungo practicing the art of mending. You can hear Mordain chanting and communing with whatever that great power is out in the sea. You can hear the drop of coins into the water after watching Mordain slice open his wrist. But you are lost in the thought of this ship. You dig deep down into the bones and the trees of this vessel that made it what it is today. You can feel the age of this vessel just kind of wrap around your mind in a sense of warmth and content. You're brought into the beginnings of its construction. You are standing on a beach, watching these great trees be felled on the beach. These beautiful mahogany trees. You can see that the skeleton of the hull in a makeshift dry dock on this beach has already been formed. But there's something strange about the people that are building it. They wear shackles on their ankles, and while they don't wear shackles on their wrists because it would impede their ability to work, they are slaves. They are indentured to do this work. You watch as the blood of these workers kind of blends and melts into the woodwork that they're forced to work tirelessly. Little food, little sleep, pressed into this work in such a way that you see a figure, a long, scraggly head of hair, a long beard, the dozen or so lash marks on his back that have both healed and reopened over the year of this servitude. The shackled ankles bent underneath his body as he is using a wood planer on this log. He's just grinding at this log with this wood plane. But it's quiet now. It's nighttime. He's the only one awake. And then you see that he's working on a figurehead designed for the front of the ship that would sit perfectly up on the front of the keel where it would just display itself for all those to see. It is the figure of a beautiful woman. And he carves it with almost like a sense of familiarity as he carves it. This deep sense that he's carving somebody that he knows into this intense bit of mahogany wood. You notice that his hands are cut to the bone with the work. The blood seeping in to the woodwork that he is working on. The fineness, the richness of it, the detail of this sad woman with her hair pulled back in a braid, staring off as if to find something that can never be found. And then you begin to watch this person carve little kind of writings and runes and glyphs into the secret crevices and cracks of this figurehead. You hear the heavy bootsteps of a guard come shifting through the sand over away from the fire. You can hear the cackling and laughter and the hoarse language. of people that have only ever known brutality.
What are you working on there, lad? Let me see.
You watch as a heavy hand tosses the young man aside.
Well, that's a mighty fine figure you're making there, lad. It's going to look beautiful on the ship. And when your bones are melting and rotting at the bottom of the sea, at least your soul will know rest.
He just kind of laughs down at the young man. And all the while you're standing, always nearby in hopes of interacting, but the interaction never happens. It never comes. But you watch as the young man, big beard, very skinny, obviously emaciated, hunger, thirsty, but there's a flare in his eyes. There's a sense of purpose. He jumps to his feet. He runs over to the guard. And the guard doesn't realize that the young lad still has the wood planer in his hand. And in a brief slice of movement and motion, the dull edge of the wood planer catches the guard in the throat. There's a gurgle of blood that spews out from underneath his chin. No ability to scream or yell as the larynx is clearly severed and almost completely severing the head. The guard drops to his knees. All the while, the eyes of the young lad flare with energy, flare with this sense of purpose. And he's mumbling dark whispers, dark secrets to himself. A dark invocation spilling out of his mouth. As the guard dies on the ground, you watch as the blood pooling in the sand begins to get absorbed into the figurehead. You watch as the young lad, looking down at the dead guard, the blood absorbing into the figurehead, he begins to realize what he's done. He takes the guard's body and he puts it on the edge of the water and simply lashes heavy logs to it and then pushes it out to sea. As he walks away from the edge of the water back towards the figurehead.
Never again will that guard belittle me. Never again will I ever allow this to happen to people who are caught unawares. That's reason why they call me the bishop. And I will find my way back.
You come out of the vision, and as you're coming out of the vision, you are in a dune. Like whenever you go to a beach that is heavily kind of overwhelmed with dunes around it, and you can see off in the distance, forested and jungled kind of area. You can see the water. You're in dunes, these unending dunes all around you. And you watch as silently written into the sand, no figure does it, no sense of who's responsible. Edelgorm. The word Edelgorm is stitched into the sand. You get the feeling that something is there that might either help you find the figurehead or perhaps link you to its trail. Your eyes water. You come out. The sounds of the music of Evermist wafting over the sea. You look over to see Mordain stepping away from the rail. You look over to see Bungo smiling at some invisible apparition that you can't quite make out. And the sound of Evermist is alive once again. The wind blowing nearby. The music filtering across the water. The raucous laughter and yells of those celebrating. It's now deep into night. each of you having your own unique experience. What would you guys like to do next?
To take a quick phone call, so I'm going to take a break shortly.
If you need to take a phone call, take it. We don't do breaks, so just go ahead and go take it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably Ivar complaining that Bungo's or that Bill's not at camp.
Ivar.
Kunlun, Mordain, what would you guys like to do next?
I would say let's now the next day I want to continue to commune. I want to understand the thing.
Well, we gone back to the ship to do the event that Bungo wanted to do, and then I think the intent was to go back to Evermist after the event.
Yes.
So the question is, you guys still want to go to Evermist and either go to the brothel or go to the pirate tavern? It's up to you. Or do something else with your nighttime activity.
I'm good with that. Kunlun?
Yeah.
The three of you kind of lower yourselves back into the tender. Kunlun using the oars. You guys are back on the dock and back in the Evermist gravel-lined roads and sandy pathway trails. The brothel, the Bridal Mermaid, is a hot spot of both fighting and carousing, as well as the smoldered keel. Meanwhile, the beach itself is just one massive, ongoing celebration of nighttime activity, whether it be gambling or people seeking dark spaces and dark places to do whatever they want to do. The drinking and the other activity is ongoing here. Every now and then you see people of purpose to keep the crowds in control. Whoever they answer to, you're not sure, but there must be someone they answer to. Every now and then breaking up a fight or helping throw someone out of the tavern. There's a sense that this place governs itself. There's a sense it allows the pirates to be who they are. You then hear the crackle of gunfire as two individuals facing each other with pistols drawn. One is quicker than the other. You watch as a pistol shot careens through the forehead of the one. Gold is exchanged between people's hands. A raucous kind of laughter. The dead body dragged off towards a wagon, tossed unceremoniously into the wagon as the night continues to devolve into more drinking, more gambling, and more carousing. What would you guys like to do?
I want to go gambling.
There are many places to gamble here. There are open places on the beach. There's obviously places at the tavern that probably have places to gamble. There's a notable busyness of gambling over in the downstairs area of the brothel as well.
I would say by the brothel.
Okay. You guys watch as Mordain announces he intends to gamble and heads off over towards the Bridal Mermaid. Kunlun, Bungo, what would you guys like to do?
You first.
Kunlun wants to give an offering to the universe and goes to the brothel.
Oh, it's getting dark. He's slowing down his speaking.
Bungo, you're watching, like from your position, Bungo, on the dock. You watch as Kunlun and Mordain are clearly heading up towards the Bridal Mermaid, with each with their own specific purpose, but they're heading off in that direction. You look back to see, for the first time ever, as an empty shot is fired from one of the 4 newly repaired cannons from the Red Tide. And there's a kind of concussive, but no cannonball is wasted. Just feels like a test of the fuse, the powder, the fixing of the first of the cannons that will take probably all night and into the next day. You can only imagine the smile on Zephora's face. Slick is probably giddy.
This is her smile.
Yeah, that smile. Slick is probably giddy with engineering mastermind as he's like, we're going to work on this cannon now. Now we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. Can we make it go farther? Can we make it do this? Can we make it do that? You can almost see it playing out in your mind. What would Bungo like to spend the evening doing?
Bungo is going to do what he said.
The bard thing, that's right. The bard.
Yes.
Did we do, we did perception or survival?
Yeah, perception, and I don't remember what I rolled, but it was not spectacular. It was like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Well, then roll again.
Perception, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
See if it's any less spectacular.
Oh, 20, not natural.
Nice. Dirty 20. Mordain, in the downstairs portion of the brothel, it is a kind of makeshift casino. Cards, dice, lucky wheels, all the things that you could lose your mind, your time, and your coin in. How much coin do you plan on wagering this evening?
I would like to wager 50 gold.
Okay.
Yes.
What skill set do you think Mordain would use to kind of pull off this gambling evening?
A combination of deception and sleight of hand.
All right, give me a deception roll for starters.
That is a natural 20 for 24.
Nice. Now give me sleight of hand with advantage.
Whoo, that was almost 2 threes, but it's a 16.
16?
And I am using the invisible mage hand.
Yep. So as you are now in the midst of your gambling evening, Kunlun, you could see where Mordain is over at a series of tables. He is either throwing dice, he's spinning the lucky wheel. He seems to be having a hell of an evening. What's Kunlun going to do spending his evening here?
Goodlun hires as many courtesans as he has money in his pockets.
How much money does he have in his pockets?
Well, let's say he brought 20 gold with him.
20 gold? What skill does Kunlun try to use to entice these courtesans for an evening of entertainment with Kunlun?
Sleight of hand.
Ooh. How does sleight of hand work?
He
the soft touch, the delicate caress, the charismatic enticing of a kind of giving them something to look forward to, perhaps?
He sets things on fire and juggles them.
Oh,
and also what you said.
I was thinking you could juggle beans with your fingers.
Give me a skill check. Give me a roll.
13.
13? It's going to cost you all of your gold, but you get at least 2 courtesans involved. And you end up spending the evening with them. However you decide that happens, it happens. Bungo, there is... I don't want to make this sound too kind of tropey or douchey. There is a kind of middle-aged man who is sitting on an old wooden barrel that's been kind of turned into a like a makeshift seating of sorts, surrounded by fishing material and
sorry. I'm sorry.
him and that phone, I swear to God. Mordain, I'm going to switch back to you then while he answers the phone. Roll me a D8 and add your proficiency modifier to it.
Ooh. That is a 9.
9. You are going to earn 450 gold this evening through sleight of hand, through trickery, through deception, through luck and gambling. When you wake up the following morning, you are going to be 450 gold richer.
Marvelous.
Kunlin, what's your main accomplishment tonight? These courtesans offer you entertainment, relief. They offer you a sense of connection. What's in Kunlin's mind? And does Kunlin use any, how should we say, enhancers, like any of the mushrooms or concoctions that he's known to give out freely when he decides to have an evening of fun?
Sure, he uses that. He kind of connects to the feminine side of the universe, of the sea, of consciousness, and he tries to like kind of to get at that good side, but also just to kind of, no pun intended, penetrate the
You're like, no pun intended. Clearly it's a pun.
the depths of consciousness and just like kind of like attune himself to this place and to this and to the ship and to what's going on around them, with the hopes that like when he tries again to like seek secrets later or like meditate or whatever, he would be like in a good grace of the forces of the the universe.
What skill do you think he would use to do this? And I'd say proficiency would come into play as well, because this would be your main skill check.
I mean, like wisdom check.
Yeah, you want to make a wisdom check with proficiency? So you can use your wisdom modifier and proficiency.
Wait, so what does it mean?
So you roll a d20, add your wisdom modifier, and add your proficiency.
Yeah. So that's 16.
16. Pretty decent. There's a feeling that kind of both eases you and overwhelms you. Both courtesans are sound asleep on either side of you. You can still hear the raucous laughter down below. You can even hear Mordain's kind of creepy laughter. He must be having a hell of a time. But in this private chamber, in this private room, there's a small balcony that is connected to it. You find yourself standing and wrap a nearby kind of piece of silk around your waist, and you tie it off, and you feel the coolness of the breeze coming in off the veranda. It's small, but affords you the ability to kind of stand on its edge and look down into the busy town that is silent in your mind, but you can tell that the physicality of the town is unwavering. It's unfolding. It is in full play. This place does not sleep unless you pass out. You do not eat unless you're hungry. You do not drink unless you're thirsty. This place is a crossroads of all the sins and the hopes of a people that do not follow the rules or try to live outside the rules. But it's the rules of humanity, of people that live within the boundaries of themselves. You watch as the ghostly form of yourself steps outside your body. Your body stands there, staring, not moving, not breathing, just standing there. But in this ethereal form that you've taken, For the first time, you feel the crossroads of all the sins and all the hopes kind of drawing your ethereal form out of your physical form. And you are now in between those spaces, in between those places of limitation. You watch as little tendrils of energy pulse out from within the ethereal plane, tapping into you, almost like a network of mycelium energy connecting to you, one spot at a time, unfolding spaces that normally you would never physically be able to find or seek. Your consciousness suddenly has the ability to move quickly through these spaces. At this point in time, with this amount of success, what do you think Kunlin's thinking about most? Where is his mind trying to get to at this point?
He's probably lost in thought, and he's thinking about his monastery that he left, and his search for the balance of good and evil, and morality and freedom. And he thinks of the man who carved that statue, and what role does he play in all this.
Your mind steps through the folding of ethereal space, and you're now awash amongst stars and embers of energy that pull you ever deeper and ever deeper into this space. Before long, your apparition of yourself hovers over a very small and tiny island of rocks. These rocks stack up out of the water and are maybe only a few thousand square feet in total space. And there he is, the exhausted, emaciated form of a near-drowned person that had worked on that figurehead. He is on a rock, his body barely clinging to life. And sitting next to him is a creature of immense beauty. The lower half of her body is below the surface of the water. You can see the bare edges of scales along her hip line and belt line coming out of the water. A merfolk, or the way she's singing to him, she could be a siren for all you know. Behind her, jutting out of the water, are broken masts and pieces of broken ship, all lying in various states of decay. But you hear the croaked voice of the man on the rock as he looks up towards the siren. Please, just one more chance. I'll give you anything. She looks down and sings the lullaby of creation. You will bring me your firstborn. That is what you'll bring me. The old chap, the young lad, the man, looking up at her, smiles. Of course, if it will save my life, of course. You watch as merfolk surface. They are aiding a small boat filled with supplies. They aid the man into the boat, and then they very unceremoniously kind of push it off into the distant waters. As your ethereal form follows this boat briefly, this small tender, you can see the man drink from a barrel of water, eat from the hard tack of a tin, as if he hasn't eaten or drinking in a lifetime. He looks back at the fading rocks and the siren song in the distance. Never again will this happen to anyone. His eyes flare with a dangerous green energy. He looks off in the horizon, looking down into the water. I am the bishop. I am the leader of the free peoples. I will burn it all down before I let it ever happen again. Bungo. You see a middle-aged man sitting on a makeshift seat, surrounded by fishing equipment and fishing items, but he's strumming a lute. There is a small circle of individuals watching him sing. Some of them are dancing, and this high energetic music is pouring from him, just pouring out to these people. You could see the magical kind of nature of the notes swirling out of the lute, kind of swarming around the people. They all have this kind of dullard look on their faces. They're lost to the music, lost to the sound. He's singing a song. He's singing a song about times of old, about heroes and spaces and places, cities succumbing to the death of dragons, heroes standing upon strong strides of mountaintops, casting down gods and goddesses into the great rifts below, singing about the two moons that circle Exandria, the bright red and the dull blue moons, and the mysterious third moon that no one seems to ever question. Its small flavor, its small illumination, always hiding in the shadow of the red and the blue moon. His voice lifts and falls and ebbs and crawls to this great telling of heroic ventures. The stories of Exandria, the stories of Tal'Dorei, of Isilra, of Wildmont and Marquette. Great bands of heroes that travel to and for. They are looking for answers. They are seeking the height of their power, either by ship, by airship, by teleportation of spell. He weaves a story of these heroic individuals that not once, twice, but 3 times saved the world from itself. But then his music dies down to a kind of chord of soft, velvety music as he explains that there are no heroes anymore. The world is broken. The kingdoms scrabble for what they can. The heroes have abandoned the pathways, fallen into distant memory and history of themselves. And now only the adventure of the high seas. Grab it while you can. Take it all. Don't let anyone take it from you. As the great, deep, and dark pirate shanty, known to all pirates, is now being played out around you with his fine instrument. The music swirling around people. They find themselves enraptured until one by one, they all fall down due to exhaustion. And you hear his voice. Are you just going to stand there, young man? Or are you going to join the circle?
Bungo reaches into his pouch or vest, pulls out a pouch with the 20 gold, the red tide, and then he'll go join the circle.
All around you, the sleeping, exhausted forms of the people that were dancing as he was playing. He stares down at the small bag filled with coin, He looks at you with a gleam in his eye, the fire reflecting off of his face. His worn, battered face looking both young and old at the same time. The loot looks like something that was plucked out of a dragon's hoard pile. Its decoration, its ostentatiousness obvious to you. But yet, the bard who plays it, very plain and very simple looking. There's a low strum of energy as the tune begins to switch. The red tide is a myth. Some say when the captain commissioned the vessel, it was made in blood and the waste of humanity. Some say to see the red tide coming at you is to invite the eventual death of yourself and those around you. For Captain Blackmane was no trifle, no idiot of the sea, but he was a man cursed to be at sea for all of his life. It is said when the great naval forces of Amon tracked down the red tide, they were trapped in the great breakers of the Western Shoal. There they were trapped, unable to get away. It's said that he stood on the front of that ship and he cut off his own hand and he gave a blood oath to the sea itself. And this blood oath was to never be taken alive, never to be made victim to a world of rules and a world conforming you to its intent. Some say that final battle went on for hours, if not days. More than 24 Amon vessels lie at the bottom of the sea, and when the smoke cleared, there was no sign of the red tide. Just an empty space of water where it once was. No wreckage, no nothing. And to this day, no one knows exactly what happened. The only thing that was noticed was the sound of a flag waving in the wind, the toll of a bell, and the sound of a weeping woman looking for something that can never be found. Some say a rift was opened between the spaces of reality and magic. That blood oath he made pulled him into the darkness of what he made for himself, and there he hides. Some say the magic of the ship, imbued with the blood of those that died making it, saw somebody in need, and they whisked him away to safety. Some say when the blood oath was taken and his hand chopped off, an agreement between a simple captain and a dark power was formed. This hand is said to be mythical in nature. No one knows for sure what truly happened to him. Something of power, something of mystery. The red tide is a myth. The red tide is a hope. The red tide is a dream of bringing back the glory days of piracy. The glory days of freedom on the open waters, never to set foot on land ever again, but to take what belongs to you. The power of the red tide has yet to be understood.
To know it is to believe in it. Some even say its red sails are made of the blood of the crew that sacrificed themselves for Blackmane that day. The ship is power. The ship is mystery. The bard stands up, begins strumming, walking through the sleeping crowd. Bungo, give me a wisdom save, if you would, please.
11.
Your eyes begin to grow heavy with sleep. A sense of exhaustion beginning to overwhelm you. You look up to see this bard strumming, walking casually through all the others that have fallen asleep, looking down. It's strange. That last moment, as your eyes begin to get heavy and your lids close with exhaustion. You're not really sure how he was playing his instrument. You could have sworn he only had one hand. Your eyes close. Each one of you waking up the following morning. Mordain, you have never taken a rest. You spent the entire night gambling. You're 450 gold richer, but I need you to take a point of exhaustion, if you would, please. Walking down from the upstairs veranda of the private quarters, you see a very well-rested, refreshed, and shiny-looking Kunlun with courtesans under each arm as they kiss him on the cheek, bid him farewell as the two of you enter out of the bottom floor of the Bridled Mermaid, only to see a very sleepy and groggy Bungo walking up from the beach, piled high with sleeping forms all around him. He yawns, stretches his arms. The three of you are now on the docks and the beach. It's the following morning. What would you guys like to do?
Have you gentlemen had good time?
Yeah.
All the money, I did all the work.
And Morning's jiggling this big bag of coin. It's crackling with metal.
Bungo reaches into a pocket.
Was crazy. He's exhausted.
Bungo pulls out the envelope that the apothecary gave to him and says, Kunlun, the apothecary said you should eat this the next morning.
Why? I'm feeling fine.
Okay. It's made of mushrooms.
Okay, if you say so.
You don't have to, but I don't need it.
Doctor's orders, I guess.
And the don't eat all of the mushrooms. I can take spores from them and try to grow them.
Oh yeah, I know. I
Okay.
know. I have already been grinding mycelium.
Very good.
I have.
There's an image of Kobold grinding mycelium while he shits in a bucket.
There is one
Does he, like,
secret
sculpt it
ingredient.
and shape it? Oh, this one looks like a tree. This is a volcano.
Oh, it's the devil's tooth.
There is one secret ingredient that I think we should mix. But don't tell Mordain. I want to take that brain of his that he has in a jar, mush it up, and put it in there. It'll make the concoction.
Oh, with the mushrooms and the poop.
Yes.
And that
My
weird
ears are
tentacle
burning.
liquid too.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I heard some legends and lore about the red tide. I'll tell you guys all about it, and I will share as much as I can.
Oh, you remember it all clear as day. So everything that was said to Bungo now spends the next 20 minutes of the journey back towards the ship kind of expressing all the details about what had happened.
Maybe we should let Slick know that he's got the captain's hand, and maybe that hand would like to hold that naval officer's sword that I bought. I don't know.
Kunlun, do you share anything about what you learned, or do you keep that to yourself?
I tell them in general, in general terms about like Bishop and the ship, and that there's like a curse,
Making of the figurehead and
yeah,
the interaction with the siren. Mordain, as you're listening to Kunlun's story about that interaction with the siren on the small pile of stone rocks, that is very reminiscent of your understanding of your vision of the young sailor that is submerged in the water near a stack of stone rocks. Similar to that. The shipwrecks in the background, the merfolk, all of that has a kind of sense of familiarity to you.
Yeah. I'll convey that, and I'll be like, this vision, this story, this explanation, it sounds like a lot like this vision I had. We must see more. We must understand it. There's more with the ocean that we must seek.
There's a audible thud as you feel the tender bump into the ship. The lines are rolled down. The lines are hooked on to the eyelets of the front and back of the ship as the tender is lifted up into its proper place. Each one of you watching as the rather portly hobgoblin, exhausted from a long night's work, a very excited Slick kind of dancing around him. And yeah, we did this, and 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 we did this. Just kind of dancing around, super excited. As all four of the cannons are now fixed, they've all been tested and properly made sure that they work. I will have the damage stats updated onto the Red Tide document, so you'll have access to those. It is early morning. Zephora and Slick have woken up from or finished up their breakfast. There's obviously a table of food if anyone wants to imbibe in it. But it is early morning. The five of you are back together again. The question is, how much of this do you guys share with Zephora and Slick? Do you get them caught up to date as well?
Mordain is on no sleep. He is a babbler. He is
D6 inspiration for that. I love it. Because that's like, to me, it's like, if I'm exhausted, I'm gonna babble. I'm gonna go crazy. Just like everything that I went through. Hold up the big bag of money that you won.
Like, what is it? Zafane or whatever that we're calling it? Zephora
Yeah.
and Mordain? Yeah. Of course. It's just, Mordain's just missing like jump at Zephora, and as jumping at just
As the five of you kind of like sit together on the helm's deck, listening to the telling of each stories of the previous night. Slick talking about the amazing engineering feat of repairing the cannons, and his new friend Hobart that he's convinced is now his best friend because of everything that transpired. Zephora kind of going over possible choices, islands to pick. Head back towards Tal'Dorei, head back out towards the Merkmill Islands, see if the South Isles have more to offer. She has unceremoniously kind of like placed circles around possible locations that might offer up opportunities of wealth, loot, and she clearly is on the overall vibe of getting back into the pirating business, of course, especially now the cannons work. But Mordain's story Kunlin's story. Bungo understanding the story that you heard from the bard. Little bits of the lore of the red tide are beginning to burble to the surface. It would appear that the hauntings of this vessel are of those of the crew that may have sacrificed themselves that day. And it's possible that the only survivor was Blackmane himself, wherever he was pulled to. Perhaps this vessel that you're on is made of the debris that was once the red tide and is now kind of becoming something different or something similar to what it was once before. This idea of an oath, there's a feeling that that skeletal hand that you're in possession of must mean something more than it is physically. But Kunlin and Mordane's intersecting vision of the siren on the rock talking to someone who called himself the bishop. And then, of course, the cursed young man said to be the bishop's son down at the bottom of the sea. These thoughts dance around as you enjoy the morning meal and begin to plan what you'd like to do next. And that's where we're going to finish tonight. So we will not be on next week. You guys go ahead and linger because we have a change in schedule. Because both me and Bill will be gone, and so will Ivar. I don't know why I thought I just got my dates mixed up. So everyone else, thank you so much for watching and listening. Be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game, everybody. We will see you in a couple weeks. Good night, all.